Hello, everyone. I am back for another episode of Quotables. And today I will be reading some highlights and excerpts from The Spirit of Intimacy, Ancient African Teachings and the Ways of Relationships by Sobonfu. So, a quick synopsis. A renowned, respected teacher and mentor to thousands, Sobonfu is one of the first and foremost voices of African spirituality to come to the West. In the spirit of intimacy, Somé distills the ancient teachings and wisdom of her native village to give insight into the nature of intimate relationships. Somé generously applies the subtle knowledge from her West African culture to this one. Simply and beautifully, she reveals the role of spirit in every marriage, friendship, relationship, and community. She shares ancient ways to make our intimate lives more fulfilling and secure and offers powerful insights into the illusion of romance. She has that in quotes. Divorce and loss. Her important and fascinating lessons from the heart include the sacred meaning of pleasure, preparing a ritual space for intimacy, and the connection between sex and spirituality. Her ideas are intuitively persuasive, provocative, and healing, and supported by sound, practical advice, along with specific rituals and ceremonies based on those used for thousands of years. So, jumping right into the book, the first quotable isn't even in the chapters. It's after the foreword and acknowledgments, but before chapter one. I always I read from cover to cover, so everything is important. There are jewels and gems everywhere. So, this is what it states. What is important is to look at our understanding of intimacy as primarily a practice ordered by spirit or authorized by spirit and executed by someone who recognizes that she cannot, by herself, make happen what she has been invited toward. Relationships are not just one person's work. Intimacy is something that spirit has brought into your life, summoned into your life in order to show you something, teach you something, allow you access to certain emotions and experiences. And since intimacy is a dance, a tango with another spirit, it is impossible to do on your own. So I think that was very pertinent to remind readers of. In the next quotable, she describes her understanding of the earth elements, what they represent, and how they affect us. Here goes. Earth is responsible for our groundedness, our sense of identity, and our ability to nurture and support one another. Water is peace, focus, wisdom, and reconciliation. Mineral helps us to remember our purpose and gives us the means to communicate and make sense out of what others are saying. Fire is about dreaming, keeping our connection to the self and ancestors, and keeping visions alive. Nature helps us to be our true self, to go through major changes and life-threatening situations. It brings magic and laughter. These felt self-explanatory, and my interpretation is that working with these elements either through food or experience through proximity, like, being near a body of water or out in nature, or having fire in your spirit, like feeling drive and determination, but like not actually playing with fire or setting things on fire, though in some cases you may be called to do so. But through working with these things, you can receive the benefits and insights that these natural resources can offer. The next quote comes from chapter 2 and reads, "Intimacy is a song of spirit, inviting two people to come and share their spirit together. There's a spiritual dimension to every relationship. Two people come together because spirit wants them together. People in the West can begin to strengthen their intimate relationships by maintaining their connection with spirit through prayers, through walking in nature and dealing with natural forces, through connecting with the earth, the mineral, the fire, or the mountains. By spending time in nature, we allow the part of ourselves that can hear natural beings to listen, so that we can find our connection to those spirits. We can also strengthen our connection to spirit through ritual. Various rituals help us to heal particular wounds and open us to spirit's call." I love this sort of insight because many people reach a point in life where the connection between the human form and nature and spirit becomes more apparent. You realize you're connected to everything, and there is no better way to cultivate and strengthen and nurture those connections than by acknowledging and honoring them. So, continuing on with my quotes, still from chapter 2. The coming together of two spirits gives birth to a new spirit. You can call it the spirit of the relationship or the spirit of intimacy. It is very important because it acts as a barometer for the relationship, and it must be nurtured and kept alive. If that spirit dies, then the relationship dies. I found this interesting because I never thought of a relationship in this way. I've had my experiences with relationships and love, and I've always read it as two people coming together, but without having the wisdom to understand the spirit of the relationship itself. So I wasn't completely clueless of the existence of the spirit of the relationship, but there's a difference between conscious and unconscious behaviors. And to consciously honor and keep alive and enjoy the spirit of the relationship feels way more impactful than just winging it and being yourself while your partner is being themselves and just experiencing shared time and space. The spirit of the relationship is like a baby with its own needs and ideas and joys and pain points, apart from each partner's individual aspects. So when you start to think in ways of what does our baby, what does our child, what does our spirit of intimacy need, it leaves less room for individual ego and open space for teamwork toward a singular goal or objective. My last quote comes from chapter 3. Chapter 3 stresses the importance of community. And the quote reads, "When you don't have community, you are not listened to. You don't have a place you can go to and feel that you really belong. You don't have people to affirm who you are and to support you in bringing forward your gifts. This disempowers the psyche, making you vulnerable to consumerism and all the things that come along with it. Also, it leaves many people who have wonderful gifts not knowing where to put them. And without the unloading of our gifts, we experience a blockage inside, which affects us spiritually, mentally, and physically in many different ways. We are left without a home to go to when we need to be seen." All right, and no matter what anyone tries to say, we all have an innate desire to be seen. That's why we use social media. That's why we enjoy getting dressed up and taking pictures and being out in the world. Of course, those aren't the only reasons why we do those things, but we all have ways of performing attention-seeking behaviors because it's clearly a part of our biology to be seen. And when we don't have supportive family, friends, and intimate relationships, it's obvious. So I thought that was really good, a really good point to express. But yes, I'm going to wrap this up here. I don't want my videos to be too long because I want the world to be able to enjoy what I create without being consumed by my creation. So bite-sized pieces seems to be fair and reasonable, but I really enjoyed reading this book, so I'm sure I'll continue on with quotables from this and, further share some highlights and insights on the spirit of intimacy. So thanks for lending me your ear. Be well. Take good care of yourself. Later.